guys, so if you follow me on my vlog channel, then you know me and my son went apple picking a few days ago, last weekend. And so now I have all these apples and I decided to make apple crisp. And this time I'm going to be doing it in my crock pot. So I'm going to show you guys what you need. So you're going to need some sugar, regular white sugar, some brown sugar, half a cup of butter, which is a whole stick, some cinnamon, some nutmeg, salt, flour, old-fashioned oats, and then of course apples and a slow cooker or a crock pot. So I did 8 like medium-sized apples, and these are Macintosh apples, and I just cut them into like little, I cored them, peeled them, and cut them into little slices. So those are there. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take some coconut oil and oil the inside of my crock pot. I'm just going to take my little brush that I have here and wipe it around. Okay, so the first thing that's going to go in are the apples. So I'm just going to pour them all in and make sure they're all nice and even. Then I'm going to measure out half a cup of brown sugar, and you're going to pack it. Okay, so I'm just going to pour in half a cup of brown sugar. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of my granulated sugar, and I'm kind of sprinkling it around, making sure it's all even. And then you're going to need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I can't find my regular teaspoon, so I'm going to use my half teaspoon, so I'm going to put in 4 of these. You need 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, now I'm just going to let that sit there. The crock pot's not on. I'm just letting it sit. Okay, so now we're going to put the topping mixture into a bowl. Okay, so now I'm going to take my old-fashioned oats and I'm going to put 1 cup into the bowl. I'm going to do 3/4 cup of flour. I'm going to get out my brown sugar again, and this time we're only putting in 1/4 cup. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to grab a fork and just kind of mix all this together. Now I'm going to take my butter and cut it into cubes and put it into the bowl. You don't have to soften your butter, just take it right out of the fridge when you're ready to use it, and you're just going to cut little cubes out of it and put it into the mixture, the flour mixture. Okay, then you're going to take your fingertips and just mix them all together. And this mixture is going to be kind of clumpy, but you just want to make sure it's as mixed as good as you can get it. Just mash the butter right into the oats as good as you can. This might be a fun thing to do with your kids if you like baking with your kids, or if they like baking, this would be a fun part for them. Okay, so it's pretty clumpy, but it's mixed in there pretty good. I got butter sticking to my fingers. Okay, so now I'm just gonna uncover the crock pot and mix the apples up. Make sure all the ingredients are mixed around the apples, and I'll show you. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, you're kind of far away, but the apples are pretty covered. Now after you mix them, you're just going to kind of resituate them, make sure they're all in an even layer again. And then you're going to take this and sprinkle it over the top of your apples. And then you're going to want to wash your hands. Okay, so once everything's in there, you're just going to either cook it on high for 2 hours or low for 3 to 3.5 hours. I'm going to cook it on low, only because I only have about 2 hours and then I have to pick my son up from preschool, so I'm going to cook it a little bit longer. That way I can let it sit while I go pick him up. So I'm going to cover it and turn it on low and then cook it for, I'm going to start with 3 hours. If the apples still are a little bit hard, I'll put it in for 3.5. And then I will show you guys the finished product.